Hello all, welcome, good morning, happy Friday. Hope all of you are, busy or relaxing and are, on your way to having a great Friday and great weekend. I'm on my daily walk with my daughter, and I wanted to jump on here and talk to all of you briefly. Now, I posted this article, so you can check it out after the scope. I posted on my Twitter feed, on my Facebook feed. Now, be careful when you click on it if you're from mobile on Facebook, because this article has been updated several times. It was first posted as 70 instances of anti-Trump violence. Then they upped it to 200 something as they've been documenting more and more, compiling a list of anti-Trump violence. It's now up to 447. It's on Breitbart, but check out my Twitter feed, Matthew Prewett, same username as here, and it's close to the top of my Twitter feed. I think it was one of the last posts I put up there. Strider, thank you for retweeting this. Appreciate that. But so you can go out there and check this after the scope. But it's a list, and they're, and Breitbart basically in the article is talking about the anti-Trump violence, talking about the instigation of violence on the left, how media as well as key personalities are calling Trump supporters Nazis, and how that's a form of harassment and violence in of itself because of what it connotates and what it incites. And then they document all of these cases with, links to video or articles, news coverage about it. Some of them have been very high-profile cases, against politicians, and some of them are lesser profile, like what happened to me. And I was just glancing through, and boom, I see my attack mentioned there. So I bring this up to all of you as an example of how people are waking up. People are starting to take notice of this violent culture, of the incitements of violence, of just the for lack of a better, just the spirit of violence that's being unleashed, the decisiveness, etc. And so people ask, what is accomplished? What is accomplished? why are you talking about this, Matthew? And I've gotten a lot of criticism on my YouTube video that I posted talking about the Kathy Griffin attack. You can go over and read some of the comments. I deleted a couple of the really, really bad ones, but you can go and look at the comments on there. And people are basically saying I deserve to be attacked, that I should be thankful, that, I wasn't attacked more. Then you have the bloodthirsty right-wing people who are angry that I didn't fight back and, calling me a wimp and saying that I'm not a patriot, etc. So hard to get stable connection. It's really troubling. There's been something going on in this neighborhood. It's crazy. I used to always get a good connection, and over the past few days, it's been lousy. Andrew, thank you for inviting people. Yeah, exactly. You can't win. And, if I had, pummeled the guy into the ground, I would have been criticized for that. So, hey, you have to follow your convictions. You have to follow what you think is right, because ultimately we have to answer to a higher authority. And I'm satisfied that in that situation I did the right thing. I wouldn't impose my actions on other people, because each person has to make that decision. I don't even know if I would respond in that way in a different situation. But my whole point is the optics of that, and I don't want to drive this point into the ground, because we've talked a lot about this on previous scopes. But the optics of that attack are enormous, are horrible for him, good for us. Here is this guy, myself, who just simply likes Trump, who likes our president, is out there protesting someone who incited violence against him, and then someone attacks me. And what do? I react with nonviolence. I don't resist. Yeah, I pulled out pepper spray to try to de-escalate the attack, but that was all. Sylvia, thank you for inviting followers. Appreciate that. So, people are taking greater and greater notice of that. And people are taking greater notice of these violent attacks. Original Revolution, thank you for inviting followers. So as people like Maxine Waters are calling for violence against Trump supporters, as other politicians are basically normalizing violence because they say, the whole punch a Nazi meme and stuff like that. We are seeing common Americans wake up. See, it's one thing here in San Francisco on the left coast for people to demonize people on the right. Because, here in San Francisco, less than 10% of San Franciscans, less than 10% of the votes went to Trump. Okay, not less than 10% of San Franciscans. Less than 10% of the votes went to Trump. Less than 10%. So you have about 10% of the population here in San Francisco that are conservative. And that's basically it. So it's easy to vilify us. It's easy to polarize us when 90% of the people you talk to agree with you. And then a lot of the other people who don't, the 1 out of 10 that disagree with you, most of us will be silent. We're not going to out ourselves. We're going to stay in the political closet. So you live in this echo chamber. So it's easy to vilify us. It's easy to vilify the right. It's easy to dismiss us as Nazis. There. So, and I agree. You have to find common ground, and common ground is so important. I mean, I was at dinner last night with Teresa. So you guys watched my Periscope of the protest outside of the Commonwealth Club. And pretty much the only thing we agree on in that crowd, the only thing we have in common is our stance on abortion. That's the only thing we have in common. So, we go out to dinner afterwards, and Teresa is also an animal rights activist. Believes eating meat should be illegal, should be outlawed, and so we're talking, and it's like, we probably don't agree on pretty much anything except abortion, but we can find common ground. We can talk. We can have a great meal. We can enjoy each other's company. We can, we can learn from each other. We can dialogue. We can learn about each other's viewpoints. And Amy, thank you for inviting followers. I've also started to get involved with this organization, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'm curious to see how it will take off. But this organization is all about building bridges. It's all about building dialogue between reds and blues, as they call them, between the right and the left, to try to find that common ground. And even if common ground isn't found, at least we understand where the other people are coming from. We understand that not every Democrat is a communist, that not every Democrat hates this country, not every Democrat wants to take away all of our freedoms. We understand why people want gun control, for example. Then the left can gain an understanding of why we need our guns, why we want them, why we can say that we want to protect our children, but at the same time don't want to give up our guns, and how those two things are compatible. All of that stuff, it's about building bridges. That's what we need to depolarize our country, like you guys are saying. It's very important that we depolarize our country. Yeah, we do live in separate realities. Like this person who says Hillary is her leader. So this person who's saying Hillary is her leader doesn't believe in respecting the democratic process and doesn't believe in respecting the results of an election. So she refuses to recognize Trump as her president. So she wants to live in an alternate reality. And that's what we're having in this country. We're having people who are unwilling to recognize reality. They're unwilling to recognize the truth. They call Trump a racist, but he's brought minority unemployment down to a record low. African Americans have more jobs now than since we started keeping track of it decades ago. Trump has the highest approval rating among African Americans than any other Republican since 1972. That's incredible, my friends. Incredible. How do I feel about the anti-Trump baby Trump balloon? I think it's stupid. And from what I've heard, I haven't read everything, but a few things I've seen from London says that the protests really fizzled out. That they were really small, they were underattended, and did not have the results that they were hoping for. I saw the news with the indictments and stuff, hadn't it looked at. Hillary had 2 million more votes. Yeah, because Trump won in the Electoral College. He won underneath the Constitution. We don't live in a pure democracy. We live in a republic. There's a difference. Victoria, thank you for the super heart there. The balloon got shot down already. That is awesome. That is awesome. I have said that that someone should do that. I was like, man, just take an air rifle, a BB gun, and just, shoot that down. So that is great. That is so rich. London protests seem quite big. Yeah, but they were wanting, tens and tens of thousands of people and stuff. And the pictures I've seen, wasn't quite the same way. And the media is going to make it look as big as possible. So, anyway, my whole point is people are waking up. People are seeing the violence. People are seeing what happened in Portland. People are seeing what happened with Tommy Robinson with the Tommy Robinson event here in San Francisco. Are there really millions protesting today? I haven't seen any pictures of millions right here. I haven't. Yeah, and Delia, you have a very powerful point. The thing is, there was massive voter fraud in the elections. The Democrats bust people in who, there were people who voted in multiple states. There were illegal aliens who voted. There were dead people who voted. Part of me, I want to kind of do a video, kind of a sting operation next election, showing how easy it is to commit voter fraud. I just have to come up with a way to do it where I'm not actually committing the crime, but just showing how easy it is to do it. But yeah, it's absolutely shocking with the lack of voter ID, what can happen. It's really, really terrible. Trump supporters in London were told by police if they rally for him, they will be arrested. See, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It shows how little freedom there is in Britain now that they're arrested. Lots of protests. Tomorrow in the same place in London, Tommy Robinson supporters will be marching to support Trump. Exactly. And anyone who went out into the streets of London to support Trump, my hat is off to you. And a special thanks from your little brothers across the pond. But people are waking up. So, someone came out to the Tommy Robinson rally in San Francisco saying, okay, I've heard the threats against you guys. I want to observe. I want to see what happens. And when he saw Antifa show up, and when he saw Antifa violently attack a senior citizen, he said, okay, I now know. My eyes are open. I'm realizing, you guys are not the aggressors. You guys are peaceful. You guys are being victimized. He recognized that. More and more people are waking up. And that's why it's so important that I do what I do. And that's why I appreciate all of you for standing with me, for blasting these periscopes out, for helping me go to these rallies. Because it's so important. You saw free Tommy posters on the pillars in northbound 280. That is awesome. So for those of you who don't know, northbound 280, like that's in the San Francisco area, okay? The 280 goes through San Francisco, down into, south of San Francisco. So, like, you're seeing free. So Deli is basically saying she saw free Tommy posters on one of the major freeways here in San Francisco. It's absolutely incredible. You don't understand. There are patriots arising everywhere. And people are taking notice. And that's why it's so important for those of us who are in the bastion of liberalism and liberal strongholds like San Francisco, like New York, like New England, to continue to stand for righteousness, to continue to stand for the truth, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. Yeah, we can be attacked. Okay? We can be attacked. Like I was. But people are taking notice of it. When Breitbart is able to document 447 instances of harassment and violence against Trump supporters, that's huge. And that's going to build. And so people are taking notice, and people are saying, maybe these people are not the demons that we think they are. The people who are independent, the people on the far left, the people who are sold out on the left, they've convinced themselves that we are evil, and so they will just celebrate the violence. It doesn't make a difference what they see. They'll say, you deserve it. All of this is documented. All of this is documented. Breitbart is the right-wing version of the Huffington Post. That's what it is. Okay? Is Breitbart polarizing? Is Breitbart biased? Of course. So is the Huffington Post. I read both of them. But all of these are documented. They're doing links. So they have a long list. Breitbart is simply documenting, compiling it. So you can check out the article on my Twitter. This is not Breitbart making stuff up. I always fact check stuff from Breitbart. Just like I fact check Huffington Post. My point is, people, the left will celebrate it. The people in the middle, the independents, the people, the moderates, they're taking notice of this. They're taking notice. They're seeing what's happening to patriots. They're seeing what happens when we put our bodies on the line, when we put boots on the ground. And they're saying, I don't want to be affiliated with this hate. I don't want to be affiliated with leftist violence. Right. I don't want to be affiliated with a party with an ideology that shuts down diversity of thought. So what do? They defect. And that's why you need to watch my video on the walk away. Look at the walk away movement. What's happening with walk away, where people are walking away from the Democratic Party in droves, it's because of people like you and me. It's because of the sacrifices that we are making. And people are taking notice of it, and it's making a difference. So I want to thank all of you for continuing to support what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to put myself in harm's way. I'm going to continue to fight for what I believe in. I'm going to continue to fight for this country, no matter the price. No matter the price. This country is worth fighting for. It's worth dying for. I hope I don't die. But if so, if that's what it takes to save this country, I would. I would. So, anyway, someone was asking, their hatred is too much. Their hatred is too much. They hate America. They hate our way of life. So we need to stand against it. We need to confront the hate. And I will. I will. With all that I have. With all that I have. Someone was asking, what makes my patriotism legitimate? Why do I consider myself a patriot? I'll tell you why. Because I go back to the original founding of our country. I go back to the principles that our country was founded on. Freedom, justice, equality, limited government, power to the populace, the ability of citizens to pursue their own destiny, to live their life unhindered. Okay, I've not even been alive for 50 years, so don't, come on. But to live their life unhindered, to live their life free of government interference. That's what our country was founded upon. And I believe in those principles. I believe in them. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in our Bill of Rights. And so that is why I consider myself a patriot. Because I believe in what our country stands for. I believe in what our country was founded upon. How do I want America to regress? I want us to reclaim those freedoms. That's what I want. I don't want our government to tell me if I have to vaccinate my children or not. I want to make those decisions on my own. I don't want the government to tell me, yes, in slavery, if you watch my videos, I condemn slavery. I condemn slavery. And actually, many of the Founding Fathers were also abolitionists. Hey, Millie. Many of the Founding Fathers were abolitionists. Your kids' safety? No, all safety matters. All safety matters. We need to go back to what our country was founded upon, our principles, our beliefs. Yes, there were flaws in our founding. We lived in a time of great racism. We need to eradicate that. I have fought for freedom. I have fought for racial equality. Those things are all important. But when you have an African American population that is experiencing economic bondage because of the Democratic Party, because of our welfare state, I have issues with that. And that's why I consider myself a patriot, because I believe every American should have the equal opportunity to achieve their own greatness. So that's why I consider myself a patriot. It's not about our race. It's not about our color. No, I want law and order. You don't get me. I don't want lawlessness. See, the anarchists who are running around with masks on their face, they want anarchy. They want our country to disintegrate into chaos. I don't want anarchy. I don't want lawlessness. I want law and order, but I want limited government. I want the ability to live our lives without government interference. The role of government is to protect the rights of the citizens. No, it's to protect rights. It's not to impose things on us. That's what's going on. That's the point of government. The point of government is to protect the rights of the minority. That's the point of government. The point of government is not to tell us, how we live our lives and what kind of water we can drink and what kind of food we can eat and all of that. That's not the role of government. No, I want personal freedom. Personal freedom. The government is supposed to control lawlessness. The government is supposed to protect us from enemies foreign and to maintain law and order. That's the point. That's the point. So anyway, that's about it, my friends. I'm gonna sign out right here. No, I don't want to hinder anyone's personal freedoms. So if you're gonna come on here and just give vitriol, it's cold in San Francisco. It's cold. You need to tell me what freedoms I'm trying to take away from you. You need to tell me what freedoms that I'm trying to hinder. Yeah. So you're welcome, Victoria. So anyway, God bless all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I appreciate it. I'll probably be jumping on here again in a little bit. Abortion, yeah, I'm against abortion. You know why? Because it infringes on the right of the unborn child to life. It's murder, plain and simple. It's taking away a life. So I want freedom for all. So that includes the freedom of the unborn. They're not a lesser child. So, you can't come up. Yeah, but it infringes on the rights of others. You're telling me that I don't care about the freedom of others, and then you are then saying that I shouldn't care about the right of the unborn because it doesn't affect me. So you're contradicting yourself. So you need to decide, what kind of thing you're believing. Okay, I don't have standing to judge. Okay. So in that vein, I should say let's bring back slavery because I don't have the standing to judge people for slavery. So, I mean, that is just, you're being a complete hypocrite. Anyway, God bless all of you. Please follow me on here if you're not already following me so you can be notified when I go live. Connect with me on Twitter as well. Same username. The article that I was talking about is posted there. You can get links to all 447 instances of violence and harassment, and they're going to be building that. So definitely check that out. Connect with me on Facebook as well. Follow me on there. I will be jumping back on here a little later this morning to talk about Ashton Birdie, to talk about the controversy that she stirred up when she wore a MAGA hat to Disneyland, and how it went viral on Twitter, and even mainstream media is reporting on it. So that'll be that. Victoria, I will continue to try to fight against liberal chaos here in San Francisco to try to bring back sanity, to keep it conservative. So thank you for that. And American Samurai, eventually I will run for Congress. Eventually I will. It's just a matter of time. Right now, I'm just, I'm building my following. I'm building my base. I'm learning, I'm articulating my views, I'm trying to, I'm an activist now, but there'll come a time where I'll have a foundation set up in my personal life, like a good financial grounding, financial stability for my family, where I can then go and run for Congress. But I probably wouldn't run from here, it would be after I move, because to be elected from here in San Francisco would be crazy. But I'm definitely going to consider, one of the things my wife and I are kicking around for in a few years to move to Auburn, which is north of Sacramento, and it's a conservative area. It would be a good way to launch a political career. So anyway, God bless all of you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see all of you probably within an hour. God bless.